Igama lami nguCelani ngokwasikhakhane sibingelele kubabukeli bethu namhlanje sino uDuduzane Zuma, a son of a former state president and a former president of the ANC uBaba Jacob Zuma. Mr. Zuma, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to our show.
Thank you very much for having me, Mr. Skakan.
Nice to meet you.
I appreciate it. Good to be on the podcast Affirmation. Thank you very much.
Mr. Zuma, today we would like to know a lot of things about you, and unfortunately we've got a limited time. But firstly, can you kindly tell us about yourself, especially the thing that you are doing right now? Because I think people they don't know what are you really busy with.
I think from my side, Mr. Skakan, I've been busy doing what I do all the time, putting in the work, getting inspired by people, trying to inspire people. And that comes in various ways, whether it be in the business world, politically now, as we've embarked on a political journey, but also from a humanitarian side. So working with communities, working with society. So that's basically what I've been doing. I've been having fun. I've been enjoying it. It's been tough at some points because it's not easy, getting stuck in and using one's hands to do things. It's a very tough ask. So we appreciate the people that do this on a daily basis, and just engaging with people and just understanding for myself what the necessities are, what the challenges are, and what solutions we can provide.
Yeah, the last time I checked, you were gunning to be the president of the ANC, and before that, you were also nominated to be secretary of the ANC at Newlands West.
Chairman.
Newlands West
branch, yes.
The branch, the branch of the Newlands, So what went wrong? Because one thing that I know about that thing is that there were people who didn't want you to stand because they felt threatened, and they even have a thought that you might be parachuted to be the chairperson of the ANC at eThekwini region. So what went wrong?
I think what went right is what you should be asking. From our side, we are positive people. And we take the positive out of these lessons that we learn. So everything that has happened has been in the right direction.
Sure.
The one thing you'll understand is the path we've taken in our business life, in our personal lives, and now in our political lives are not determined by a person or a grouping of people. It's determined by what it is that we're trying to achieve and the people that we're trying to achieve it with. So when it comes to the traditional way of doing things, we're basically saying, look, we don't need permission. We don't need anyone's blessing to do what we believe is right. So if people don't think that this is the direction so if people think this is the direction we should be going in and we disagree with that, we'll disagree with it and we'll do it our way. So breaking molds, breaking traditions, there's nothing wrong with it. I actually urge people to say, look, if you feel that something is not going according to plan and you can make a difference in your small way, in your big way, do so. You do not need a stamp of approval. You don't need a pat on the back from anybody. So when it comes to this journey, I think it's more of, I always say to people, it's a missed opportunity, not from my side, but from the people that I was trying to place my time and my efforts and my resources with. And it can never be the other way around, because the way I see it, and this is what I've said to a lot of people, is where we stand right now, and especially when it comes to the glorious movement, is over a period of time, the movement has existed for people to clamp onto it and to take value away from the movement. What we're saying is, no, we're here to create value and to plow into the movement. And if that's not going to be the case, then so be it. So from our side, we are doing it the way we want to do it. We're doing it the way we believe it should be done, and there's no one that's going to stop us.
Yeah, right now the ANC is heading to the 55th elective conference in Las Vegas, I think in 2 weeks' time, if I'm not mistaken. Are you still standing and hoping to be raised from the floor?
So there's a whole host of things that happen, as you know. There's processes, there's procedures, there's award level, branch, regional, provincial, all the way up to national. There'll be nomination processes. We'll see what happens when conference comes around. But one thing I can say is, it doesn't matter, not to me at least. What people will understand is we mean what we say and we mean business. So if this is not going to go according to the way that people believe it should go, which I always say, I think the way that the ANC is operating is a very old school way of operating. If you look at the way the nominations have gone on, it's a very old fashioned way of doing it. Is it right? Is it wrong? It's up to the person who sees it to decide. But as it's going, there's no representation.
So do you think the ANC is ready to be led by the people of your age?
Of course.
Especially on the national level.
If I put it to you this way, Skakani, the ANC was led by people my age when they came into power in 1994.
Yeah.
So the very current crop right now that are sitting at national level, some still in provincial, some members of parliament, were my age when they came into positions of power politically and even business in 1994. So I think that argument is completely flawed and is actually a terrible argument. It's on banana peels, proper argument on banana peels.
Yeah, look.
As a matter of fact, if I may say this, I think we're in a far much better position now as the younger people of today, far better than the people that existed in 1994. If you look at the crop that came from 1994, there's freedom fighting, liberation, struggle.
And those were called a class of 96. Huh?
The class of 96, and they played their role for when they played it, for that period in time. So they did the best that they could to take over a government where none of them had experience. None of them had any governance experience. And they got us to this point. So what we're saying is in 2022, leading up to 2024, we are in a much better place. We've got business experience, we've got life experience that is not similar to what would have been happening at that time. We've got greater networks, and we're ready to showcase that. So we're in a far much better position now than they were in the moments leading up to 94 and past that.
So many candidates are giving us a lot of promises, especially the candidates who are running for the presidential race, and I believe that you are still running for the presidential race. So what are you planning to do once you are given a chance to lead the ANC? Is there anything that is going to be different from what they are promising us?
Yeah. So I think what we need to understand firstly is, when it comes to what needs to be done, we need to take it from an aerial snapshot. There's politics that exists, and within that politics, there's party politics, whether it be the ANC and other parties. And the ANC has obviously played a very, very big role in getting us to where we're at, and we've believed in the values and the core values and the sacrifices that the ANC and people that have been part of the ANC for a long time have done and have sacrificed. But what we're saying now is, if the ANC fails to evolve, and I've said this before, and they're failing to evolve, we find ourselves in this current situation where we have people who are making promises. It's the very same people that have existed in the system, very same people that have been part of the system since '94. The question will be now, if you have been part of the leaders that have existed in different forms in government, then what difference are you going to make now? That is my question. So you can't come and promise something when you've been a part of the problem. So what we're saying is we need new thinking, we need new blood, we need new fresh ideas, and a completely different approach. Because the way things are going right now is clearly not working, is not going to work. And what we're saying is, guys, don't miss an opportunity for people such as yourselves and myself who are willing to step up to the plate. And you're not giving that opportunity. And then secondly, if we decide to do this on our own, meaning if we decide to say, guys, this is the direction we're going because we don't believe in what's happening now. There's going to be a big loss for the ANC. That's already happening. I mean, I don't need to tell you that. The facts and the figures speak for themselves. So what we're saying is, come the conference now in a week's time, if the ANC does not make the right decision, I think it's over for the ANC. That's as simple as it is.
Sino baba Mr. Zuma, that's why simbizo baba ngobuseshadile umuntu oseganiwe thina simhloniphe sithi baba irrespective of age yakhe sikwi podcast Affirmation sila namhlanje kwi studio sethu eseHilton eMhlanga. Mr. Zuma, I've got another question for you. If let's say you don't make it to the conference, like you failed to meet the threshold to stand for the presidential race, who do you think should take over the reign?
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, I don't play in scenarios where there's no clarity. I like definitive, pointed results. So from my side, I'm not playing to lose. I'm not sitting in the space of if and when this thing happens, it's going to happen. Now, the thing that I always say is, we are here when we approach life, when we approach situations such as these where we believe we have something to offer. We're here to work with people, not here to win people over. It's easy to win people over, but nobody wants to do the work. So what we're saying is we're here to work with people, and the people that are willing to work with us, we will work with them. As for any other people that feel that they can step up to the plate and take on the current social ills and challenges we have in the country, they will do so.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is their time is up, whether they like it or not. We're here, whether there's an ANC conference or not, whether there's any other conference or not, it's our time now, and we're going to get the job done. We will get the result, and we're not worried about any other so-called competitors because we are in our own lane.
Yeah. Right now, the country is being described as being in economical shambles. And other people are claiming that during the era of the former state president, Ubaba Thabo Mbeki, the economy of this country was thriving. We even have reserve. We even have, in fact, the country had a lot of things when it's come to finances because of his leadership skill. Do you think after the departure of Mbeki, the country really went into a direction that failed to grow its economy?
Yeah, so I think we live in positivity, as I always say. We are positive people. We are forward-thinking people. And I don't like having the discussions on what has happened historically. History is there. History will judge whoever it needs to judge. We're focusing on the future value curve and the future trajectory of our country.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is from this point onwards, whether people like describing it as an economic shambles or not, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for people like ourselves to get involved. Ordinarily, we wouldn't have this opportunity. So the way I see it is moving from this point forward, there are things that can be done for us to build a better society, for us to build a country that we all want to live in.
Yeah.
And the way we see it running. And that goes for everybody. Everyone needs to get involved. We cannot be blaming people. We can't be going back in history and saying, okay, with all due respect to your question, we can't go back and start interrogating past administrations. That's gone. We're sitting here. What are we doing to resolve the issues today? And I think that's one of the problems that we have. When we sit in meetings, political meetings, if you look at most political engagements that happen, for me it's a problem. We respect our history, we learn from our history, but we can't be over-infatuated with our history. Because every time you hear of someone attending something to do with an ANC function, it's a memorial lecture. We're looking backwards, we need to be looking forward. We should be attending future or futurism lectures. We can't always be hell-bent on sticking to the lessons of so-and-so in the past. We need to say, okay, we're here, this is who we are, this is what we're capable of. We've seen other nations do it. We've seen countries come out of 2 world wars and are superpowers today. We've seen countries in Africa overtake South Africa when it comes to technological advances, governance, and many other things. Why are we not taking this fight on from a forward-thinking perspective? So from my side, I'll always say I'm not interested in speaking about any former presidents or any former leaders. We love them, we respect them, we've learned from them, we'll continue learning from them. But we're here now. What is it that we're doing to advance our fight for the future generations?
In July, the country was in chaos after the arrest of the former state president, Ubaba Jacob Zuma. After that, there was that scenario that was made by a lot of people that he was being persecuted by his enemies, but the enemy that was named after that, it was the sitting president, the current president, Ubaba Ramaphosa. Do you believe that on that scenario that Ramaphosa is behind the arrest of the former state president?
Now, from my side, I don't hold any opinion for that scenario. All I can say is I do think there was an unfortunate incident when it came to the arrest. I don't think it should have gone that way. Just speaking from the legalities and how it built up to that. I've said this and I stand by it. I do not think he should have been arrested. I don't think he should have done jail time. I think he should have been given his opportunity to air it out and let the judicial process run its course. As for who did what and all the conspiracies, I can't say this. The only one thing that I'll say is with all the unrest that happened, we'll continue to see unrest. Even if it's in small pockets, we'll see bigger unrest if we do not deal with the real issues in our country, which is poverty. That's it. So what happened last year, a lot of it has to do with people who are poverty stricken. It's as simple as that.
We're going to the last question for this session. What do you think about the state of the ANC as a whole? From the ANC Youth League, the ANC Women's League, all structures, by the way, have been dissolved and are being overseen by what do you call the PTT task teams and so forth. Yeah. What do you think of about all of that?
Excuse me. Sorry. So I think the ANC is its own greatest enemy. Everything that's happened, the dissolving of everything from the Women's League to the Youth League to the Veterans League, you've got 101 vets, there's a whole host of things going on. And once again, that speaks to the desperation of people to cling on to power and influence. I think it also speaks to people that are not able to charter a new way. Now, the problem the ANC has is you have people that are wholly dependent on the ANC as a structure for survival. Economic survival, putting food on the table, and then eking out value from the ANC system. And the state of the ANC shows that this hasn't worked. Unpaid salaries, leases, and tenancy or rentals not paid. This is evidence that these things exist. So the state of the ANC is it's a do or die situation. And unfortunately, the decisions that are happening now, as we see, per the trends, and it's not what I'm saying, it's about the facts and figures that are out there. The ANC will die a natural death, will keep on declining, because the ANC is refusing to tell the truth to itself. Now, when we speak, people think we're being mischievous, and I'm not concerned about that. We're telling the people the truth. They know it's the truth. Behind the back alleys, we have the conversations, and everyone knows what the problem is, but no one wants to deal with it. We're saying, we're here. We're able to deal with this. This is a very simple fix. But everyone needs to awaken. Everyone needs to come to the party and say, guys, this is not a one-man show. You're not going to elect one person or elect a top six and then the problem of the party and the country go away. Everyone needs to get involved. But if you're coming and you're not offering yourself to be part of a solution, you're not offering something to the ANC or to the country, more importantly, then we're all wasting each other's time. We will find ourselves in these situations where we continue seeing manipulation, we continue seeing people just making decisions that are irrelevant to what's happening today. You look at how it transforms into parliament. Nothing's happening in this country. We're at a standstill. And this is what the current state of the ANC is. The ANC has put the handbrakes on, and everyone in the car is fighting on who's driving. And no one's going anywhere.
Baba Zuma, sisayidoro sizobuya nje futhi khona manje siyabonga kakhulu lapho. Welcome back to our show. I'm still with Duduzane Zuma, igama ngocelani ngokwasikhakhane, sikwi podcast Affirmation, sila kwi studio sethu eMhlanga Hilton Hotel today.
And I'm not going anywhere.
I'm right here. This is our second session of the interview. Mr. Zuma, on good session. I would love to hear your plans, especially with the issue. We've got so many complaints about our state of education, from Varsity down to we lower level. What is your plans if ever happened you take over as a president of the ANC, and not as a president of the ANC only, and as a president of the country in 2024?
Okay, Mr. Skakan, I think firstly we need to understand what the real issues are. When it comes to education, and I'll get to that, when it comes to education, people are not going to be educated on empty stomachs. So we need to deal with issues of starvation first, in my view. There's a three-step approach that we generally speak about in our circles. The first one being welfare. Welfare being making sure people are, to the best of our abilities as a country, not just government, but in the private sector as well. Make sure our people are fed. Make sure people don't go to bed hungry. Because it's easier to have a conversation, to get ideas, and also for people to listen when they've had something to eat. We take that very lightly, but there are people that are hungry out there and are not able to do anything. Forget about being educated, but even just moving around because of the obvious reasons. And then once we're dealing with that, we move on to, from welfare, we move on to the education part. And firstly, the education, not in the sense of schooling and being lectured, but just speaking to people and making them understand what is right, what is wrong, making them understand where it is that we're going to. So a conversation, enlightenment, if I may use that word. So enlightening people on on where we're at and how we can progress. And then from there, the education sector, which is something that needs to be transformed. You know, people are coming with political terms of, you know, I even forget what some of them are called. But from my side, our main focus should be taking advantage of what our economy is made up of, and then tailor making our education system to those economic sectors. As an example, you look at the big contributors to our GDP. There would be mining, agriculture, manufacturing. Those are things that we need to start instilling at school level already. Not even at you know, you can't get to late high school where now people visit your school, they speak to you about different career paths. It's too late. You get to university now, you're just going to study what it is you think is cool at that time, that everyone else is doing. You need to find your interest and your passion according to what is available in your country. Now, if you look at a lot of people that are, a lot of graduates that are unemployed, it speaks to this problem. The sectors, there's not enough job opportunities or vacancies to absorb people that are now qualified, doctors, lawyers, accountants, auditors, whatever it is, because there's no space to absorb these great minds, and you find them doing things that ordinarily they would not be doing, waitering, waitressing, security guarding, whatever it is, because they don't have the opportunities. So change the whole economic system to take advantage of what South Africa has in abundance. You look at the mining sector, you know, there's a lot of opportunities around the mining sector, from being an actual miner to being a mine owner, to being a mine engineer, and then to being a specialist mining lawyer, as an example. These are opportunities that exist within the mining space, logistics within the mining space, you know, the hauling of whatever materials or resources, and you know, then from there you build these opportunities for people. People have a choice on whether they want to be professionals or they want to be business owners. But unless you're creating business, unless you're creating companies, these opportunities won't come. You know, that goes for the agricultural sector as well. That goes for the manufacturing sector as well. So basically what I'm saying is South Africa needs to be reindustrialized completely.
Okay.
You know, what we're doing is we are conveniently shutting down industry. I mean, we're in Durban right now. If you drive around, you'll see a lot of textile manufacturing plants closed. You go to Pinetown, you go to Cato Ridge. These were places that were booming. They need to be reopened. This is what attracts people. This is what gets people employed, because most people do not. Some people don't have the opportunities to go and further their studies because of their situation. But others also don't want to sit in air-conditioned offices and in boardrooms. They're hands-on people. They want to build. They want to fix. Apprenticeships, this sort of stuff. That's stuff that we need to be getting our people ready and prepped for at an early age. So that level of reholding the education system to fit into how our economy is set, I think, is very important. And then finally, I spoke about welfare. This is education, and then finally is enterprise. Creating opportunities for people will only come with investment, nothing else. You can talk about WMC, you can fight and come with political jargon and talk about socialism and all that radical thinking out there, which is great. It was a necessity at a time. We are not at that time right now. I don't care what anybody says. The only way we're going to get this country right and we're going to get people working and employed is by creating opportunities. Opportunities come with investment. Investment come with people who see an opportunity and fertile ground and stability to invest in. So if we're not dealing with and once again, ratings agencies and everyone, forget about all that fancy stuff. We're just talking about ourselves as we see it. If we are business owners and we've got people striking every other week, you've got people coming and effectively hijacking your business because they're saying, look, if you don't give us a piece of the pie here, you're not going to work. Guys, that's going to backfire on all of us. It's only a matter of time before people say, you know what, we're leaving. And we laugh, these people will leave, will continue. My brother, if you take a look around, and this is why our people live in poverty, is we don't have the skill set to start up stuff yet.
Which means we might be in danger of facing the Arab Spring.
We are. I don't want to say that, because the last time I said things, I was told I was being insightful when I was actually being factual. But the fact is, if we don't deal with those issues, and if we don't get away from politicking and boiling everything down to politics from all around, if we don't get away from being, having these racist attitudes to each other, having tribalistic attitudes to each other, having xenophobic attitudes to each other, we're not going to progress. That is the beginning part, which leads us to for example, the discussions on coalitions. Do you think a coalition government will work in South Africa?
I don't think so.
Thank you very much. It won't. So we're talking about 2024 coalition.
But I'm responding for what I have seen to certain municipalities and metros in South Africa.
We're on the same page, so no, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll vote for you, Chief.
yeah. Look, look. Let's go to the issue of the expropriation of land without compensation. I would love to hear your take. What is your take on that one? Because most of the politicians who are also business people, they don't really want to dwell on that issue.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's not even an issue. It's a simple task at hand. We need to understand the dynamics first. Once again, we can't just go out there speaking about stuff that we don't fully understand. It's great to say expropriation without compensation. This was one of the founding pillars on what the liberation movement, which is great. Do our people need to get their land back? Of course, 100%. But now the question is, once we have this land, what are we going to do with it? I always make the example of, when you're in school, when you're asked to grow one of those projects, the potatoes on the window, window pane. I never was able to grow one of those now. Now you give me a farm, what am I going to do? And I'm not interested in farming. I understand farming, I appreciate what it is, but it's not my interest. So we need to understand what land is. Land is value. Land is collateral. You can lease land, you can rent land, you can develop the land. This is something that you can use against getting a loan at the bank. So we need to understand what the value of land is. And yes, okay, you can farm and do all these other, you can mine on it. So when it comes to the wealth, and then people need to get some of this wealth in their hands, 100%. But once we have it, let's know what we're going to do with it. Because what's going to happen is people are going to get it and flip it, which is what we've seen happen. You'll get a valuable piece of land and you'll sell it off for 5 million rand. 5 million is great when you've had nothing. But 5 million is nothing when the value of that land is closer to 500 million or 5 billion over 5 to 10 years.
While we're still on the issue of the land, you recently met King Misuzulu in Kangela Mankangala. I think it was in May, if I'm not mistaken. Did you manage to talk about the issue of developing rural people? Because right now, if you have been able to drive around in rural KZN, you would have seen that most of the land is vacant and is unused, but is also not developed. Have you been able to discuss such issues with the king?
Yes, so we've had these discussions, and I'm sure he's had these discussions with many other people. Now we've seen reports of him having discussions with certain groupings this past week. That some people took in a certain manner. But I think he's doing the best he can with the little time that he's been there and the opportunity for him to do greater things for our nation. Part of the discussions was obviously what KZN is and what it means, and the lack of opportunities that our people have, and how do we bring those opportunities to people. But once again, when the opportunities come, are people able to rise up and take advantage of those opportunities? Because one of the criticisms I have of our own people is when the opportunity comes, they don't take it. People don't want to work. People are shy to get involved with or not interested to get involved in opportunities that will be game changers for their communities. I mean, we always speak about agriculture in KwaZulu-Natal with the arable land, whether it's sugar cane, whether it's fresh produce, whether it's maize. Then you look at the mining space, which is predominantly the coal mining space, anthracite more specifically. Then you look at the ocean economy, as they speak about.
Oh yes,
which is fishing. You could start doing the aqua farming in that sort of space. It's there. You look at the ports that exist, the ports for export, whether it's Richards Bay. You look at the Durban port. I mean, these are economic areas that are there to not only create value, but also to act as GDP multipliers because they create that inflow and outflow of import and export of goods, which brings in very good gains for the province. So we spoke about these different opportunities and how to best take it to the next level. And the one thing that we were common on is introducing the new wave of thinking, but also the newer technologies that exist to take advantage of these industries. So making our industries technologically sound as to where we should be at the moment in 2022.
There are other two questions that I would love you to ask. The other one is the issue of the companies that are coming from abroad and are working here in South Africa,
Yes.
and raking a lot of money and taking back to their countries without benefiting our people here. What did you think of such issues? Do you have any plans if you take over as a president? Let's just, because you said you are positive, you don't take anything negative.
Sure.
Let's just say you become a president for God's sake, maybe in 2024. What is your plan and your take on that? Is there anything that we can expect in economic policy, in control of such issues?
Yeah, I think there needs to be massive economic reforms. And that reform is for the benefit of the people that live in this country. And the majority of the people that live in this country do not have access to those opportunities. I think that's one of the first things we need to do. The other thing is we understand that foreign investment, people need security of their investment, whatever opportunities they bring into our country. And we get that. But you look at the way things are being done. We need to question these things and we need to have these discussions. So one of the things we'll do is have the straightforward discussions, and there'll have to be concessions on both sides. Because the example I always use is you have companies that do very well in this country across the board, across sectors. And whenever there's a crunch, everyone is quick to run away.
Yeah.
This is after years of making a lot of profits. All we're saying is, guys, be fair to us. You've been here, you've been big mining conglomerates, you've been big manufacturing companies, whatever it is that you do. And when the time comes, when we need you the most, don't run away. If you look at what's happening, there's loopholes in the system where people are able to make maximum value out of South Africa and South African resources, but we don't see that benefit economically for the people here. I mean, you take a place like Richards Bay, for example. I mean, there's it must be trillions that flow out of Richards Bay, multi-trillions that flow out of Richards Bay annually. And one would think that Richards Bay would be one of the quickest developing areas, or that whole area. Of northern KZN would be one of the quickest developing areas in Africa. But you go back there, I know that place well, I've spent a lot of time there, and not much has changed. Now what we're saying is, for the companies that are operating there, companies that are making their wonderful profits, you need to be a part of building what South Africa you'd like to see. It doesn't make sense, and it's not fair for companies to just make money off the system and then disappear. Make money off the system, and when times get hard, they run away. No, we need you here. You put your skin in the game. We need you to develop. I mean, building 1 or 2 schools is not good enough. We've got cities to build. We've got universities to build. And we don't want that to be part of just a CSR initiative, which is great. It's a great starting point, don't get me wrong. But not just something that is done for the sake of doing it. It needs to be something that's done because people believe that there's an opportunity to grow this country. So from my side, I think all it takes is a roundtable discussion to change the attitude, not only of investors, but of government as well. Because government has got its flaws as well when it comes to...
And there's an issue of the red tape. What do you think?
No, it's a red rope, not even a tape. It's a red chain. The red tape, if you look at our laws, our acts in this country for when it comes to a lot that has to do with economic activity. It hinders our people on both sides. People in South Africa that are trying to get access to opportunities, but also from the outside world coming in. For people that genuinely do have investment, genuinely see things the way we've spoken about, want to come and develop our country and grow the country. Yeah. But then they're given a whole long story. My thing is very simple. If you've got the access to investment. Do you want to invest in this country? Obviously being sound within the confines of what would be legally right as per the law, and within the financial framework. The more the merrier. There's enough space, there are enough opportunities. Come in, make your money, but don't rip us off. Don't take advantage of our people. And similarly, our people need to understand that when people extend a hand and they come and invest, don't take them for granted, and also don't push them to a limit where you don't give them an opportunity to develop other people, because you might be making some unwarranted demands, because we see that happening. So it's a two-way street. Our society needs to respect the people coming in, because people are coming in with money that they couldn't ordinarily take somewhere else. So we all need to be on the same level of thinking. We all need to be on the same page, and we all need to understand that we're here to develop this country. That's priority number one. Regardless of where you're from, what political party you're part of, which business you represent, our people need to benefit. Let everyone make what they need to make, but our people need to benefit as well.
Babu Zuma, our politics has been turned into a bloodshed for quite some time. In the ANC, in other political parties such as IFP, NFP, EFF, especially those most black dominant political parties. What do you think it should be done to curb such situation? Because I think some of the young people are now scared of going into politics because of these killings that are always taking place.
Yeah, so like I said, issues of political killings or intimidation, that sort of thing, I'll link it back to what I said earlier on. The creation of value. So the reason why killings and intimidation are happening is because people believe that you're encroaching on what is theirs. Theirs being their position of power that links to whatever decision-making capacity that leads to opportunities. That's what the problem is. That won't be happening if everyone else takes the attitude and says, you know what, this is what we're bringing to the table. Yes, you want to benefit from it, but we are contributing. We're not taking away. We're also putting something on the table. Because if you look at where these political parties are placed, without government, without municipalities, they don't exist. Simple as that, from municipality all the way up. And what we're saying is, I'm not in government, I never have been in government. That's why I'm saying we fly above the clouds, we're in our own lane. We're not here, we do not need government contracts. People have thought all sorts of things, they've tried. I haven't had any government contracts. They're still checking. But the point I'm trying to make is we are value creators, and we need more people that will be here to create value, and that's what's going to change the way our country ticks.
Don't you think we should get rid of the tender system? Maybe it might be the reason why people are killing each other like this.
So the tender system, I think more than anything, is that the system is not the issue. The issue are the people that administer the system. It's a favoritism. It's human intervention. That's what the issue is. So, and that's why we speak about technological advancements and technological interventions. So the only way to get rid of people that might think of being involved in swaying tenders or opportunities or contracts in a certain direction is to take them away from making that decision. That's why you have technologies that exist today, smart contracts, peer-to-peer communication. You take away the power of people. Blockchain, you take away the power of people making decisions. Clearly it's not working. Clearly we have an issue. There's clearly people who take this thing very seriously, where it leads to bloodshed, as you call it. Take the power away from the people. Guys, this is what it is. You make the entry, this is the opportunity, this is these are the companies that exist on the services provider database, and then that algorithm will sort it out. So you don't have someone that will take a chance, but also you don't have someone that makes a decision that might be the right decision, but is also victimized because it didn't go in a certain way. So remove human intervention.
We are about to
close decision making from a contractual basis.
Okay. So we are about to close the show, but lastly, we cannot close the show without going back to the issue of the NASREC. Yes. Can you kindly tell us or share the names of your top 6? Because actually I understand that each and every leader that is going to that conference have that kind of people that he or she wants to work with. Do you have any preferred candidates that you
most
want to
definitely,
work with? Especially the top six. Can you kindly share with us?
Yeah. Okay, that would be food, security, water, electricity, education, and just everyone just needs to get along. So social cohesion. Those are my top 6.
You beat me on this game. Thank you very much,
Thank you very
Mr.
much,
Zuma,
sir.
for
I
having
appreciate
you. We just finished our conversation with Mr. Zuma, Duduzane, who's running to be a president of the ANC in Nasrec, as we are heading to the 55th elective conference. It's on the 16th. Eh? Start from the 16th.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We'll see you guys.
16 to the
we're going to see you on
from the
Christmas,
16th until the 20th. Yeah.
Cool, thank
So,
you.
Mr. Zuma, thank you so much for having you.
Appreciate
And
it.
we're hoping that after the Nazareth conference, you're going to come back and make a report back to us.
No. All I can say is after the Nazareth conference, it's going to get very interesting, and people will understand who we are, what we're about, that we mean business, and good luck. They're going to need it. They're going to need it. They're not ready for us. Yeah.
Okay. No.
All right,
thank
cool.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.